So you're a tired, stressed out business owner looking to grow. Well, you're not alone. In this video, I'm actually going to share with you the top tips that I implemented in my business to help me go from struggling entrepreneur to seven-figure agency owner with straight up coaching. So after this video, you'll be able to go from where you are now, which is probably overwhelmed, stressed, tired, burnt out, through to refocused, re-energized, and ready to take on growth. Now, for those of you who don't know me, like I said before, I'm an agency owner. My name's Chris Bindley. I'm the founder of Straight Up Coaching, and I've been coaching businesses since 2010. What I wanted to do is I wanted to share with you today some of my experience and some of the journeys that I went on. Now, I remember when I started my business in 2010, I was really excited. I just spent some time growing a business successfully myself for someone else, and really I wanted a share of the pie, if you will. And I remember feeling really excited to take on this experience, and really, I guess, I knew that if I accomplished this correctly, that I would be really proud of myself, and I would create a life that my family hadn't had before. It wasn't long before, however, that I realized that perhaps I'd bitten off a little bit more than I could chew. I remember thinking to myself, wow, the company that I used to work for, I did all this. I grew the business from, and it was true, I grew the business from 12, 13 grand a month to 80 grand a month. And I thought to myself, well, I can do this myself. All of that stuff will go into my pocket. Wow, how wrong was I? What I didn't realize was the things that went on behind the scene that they didn't talk about, right? So the accounting, the bookkeeping, the actually running the marketing campaigns or the actual operations. And so for me, I just thought, you know what? I can do all that myself. And it wasn't long before I felt burnt out, overwhelmed, and really not sure where to go. I mean, I still had the skill, but I'd really forgotten a little bit about, how to ride a bike. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a moment and I want you to reflect on your why. I want you to reflect on why you got into business in the first place. What were the reasons you chose, whether it be that you were working for a business and you thought you could do it better, or you discovered this great idea, whatever those reasons were, I want you to just pause and reflect and jot them down. Jot down the reasons why. And really focus in on them for a moment. Just sit with them for a moment. Now, I know you're probably pretty busy, you're already overwhelmed, and here I am asking you to pause and reflect. And I want to tell you the reason why I want you to do that. The act of writing it down and really remembering the why helps you sit in the emotion rather than the logic. So it's kind of a little bit like this. If you've had this experience where you have a particular smell, I know for me, it's bushfires. When I smell that smell, it just instantly takes me back to, what summer was like as a kid. Or if I hear a song and that particular song, is playing at a particular time of my life. For example, Green Day Time of Your Life was my 21st birthday. Whenever I hear that song, it just flashes me back. And the reason why it flashes me back is not the thinking part; it's the emotion part. It's tapping into the, that sense that I have that's beyond just the logical thinking brain. And I would really like for you to focus on the why, because we get caught up in the emotion. We get caught up in the logic and the day-to-day grind of all of this, and we forget sometimes the reasons why. Now, I mean, you have the same 24 hours in a day that I do. So I'm not about necessarily telling you to do less or more. What I'm actually doing is, before we get to a solution, I want to tap into the reason why you're doing what you're doing, and I want you to reflect on that. Now, remember I said before that it didn't take long before I was in a position where I was overwhelmed, burnt out, and really not sure what way is up. Now, I'll be honest, that was only months in. It wasn't years in. And also, if I'm reflecting, and I think in the spirit of openness, I was pretty close to losing it all. I remember having a knock at the door from the debt collectors, and I remember thinking, shit, if I can't pull this off, then my life's not going to be great. And I think that's where the mother of all inventions kicks in. If you've ever heard that saying that necessity is the mother of all inventions, I remember thinking to myself, you know what? I really have to do this. I really have to figure out how I'm going to grow my business. Otherwise, I'm in trouble. But I also knew that if I'd continued doing what I was doing, I wasn't probably going to be any better off. And, I come from a background in sales. I know that I sell when I'm in a better mood. And so that's what I did. I sat back on a daily basis and reflected at the start of every day the reasons why I'm doing this. And I mean, my whys were pretty strong. I had a young kid, I had a wife that was depending on me. The family home life that I had set up was a bit of a house of cards, and I knew that I was the provider that really connected all of the dots. So every day I would focus on my why, and I would sit down and I would write the reasons why I did what I did. So connect back to the emotion of the why, but also the reason why I got started. And what's interesting is that the universe conspired to help me succeed. I know that sounds woo-woo, but I can't explain it any other way. I found that instead of being caught up in, what I had to do that day and creating lists and all that kind of stuff, which of course I did, before I did any of that, I just reconnected with my why. I also reconnected with the reason why I got in business and the feelings that I had, and I allowed those feelings to drive my next decisions in that day, which invariably was to, make a list. But interestingly, even with that list, I prioritized that list based on the things that I knew would have to actually be done that day. And what did I do there? I was able to connect to the emotion, and connecting to the emotion gave me the perspective that I needed. And I liken this another way. It's kind of like if you were swimming out in the ocean and you held your breath. You can't really hold your breath for long. And I don't know about you if you've ever actually done it before. It doesn't have to be in the ocean, of course, it could be anywhere. But if you hold your breath for long enough, there's not a lot else that you're actually thinking about other than when do I get my next breath? And it's very much like that. When you prioritize by connecting with the emotion, it allows you to completely change your perspective on what's important. And I mean, I knew there were things that had to be done. I knew that the accounting had to be done. I knew that the bookkeeping had to be done. I knew all those things had to be done, but I knew they weren't the priority of that day. For me, the priority of the day was making new contacts, which allowed me to have new opportunities. The new opportunities then flowed into new leads and, of course, sales, and the rest is history. And today I'm going to issue a challenge to you. I want you to take stock on a daily basis. If you've been watching this far into my video, then you've obviously seen some value in it. So what I'd like you to do is, start of every day, the first thing that you do business-wise, don't create lists. Don't worry about that just yet. Spend some time. I'd like to recommend 30 minutes. Whatever that period of time is, I can guarantee you will get that back. I remember many years ago when I started doing this, my productivity, if I spent 30 minutes doing this, I got back that 30 minutes. Now, again, mathematically doesn't work, but it does because what it helps you do is prioritize with a matter of whether it's worthwhile doing now, whether it's worthwhile doing later, or actually whether it's worthwhile doing. Now, I want you to write it down on a daily basis, spending 30 minutes, your reasons why, and also I want you to describe the feelings that you have when you focus in on your why. So at the start of every day for 30 minutes, I want you to go back, think about what it was like when you first started, think about what the feelings were that you had, and I want you to connect with that first. And day one's probably going to be hard. Maybe even week one's going to be hard. It's not going to flow automatically. It's very much like today. I went to a cold plunge pool and The hot spa is pretty easy, right? But you get into the cold plunge pool and it's pretty hard the first time. I really want you to focus on getting past that first time, like that cold plunge pool. First time's hard, second time's a little bit easier. Then it gets easier and it gets easier and it gets easier. And after a while, it's the first thing you'll do because your brain's programmed to actually just pick up the journal, write down why am I in business. What all those whys are, list them. You might even have them pre-listed. Just look at them. I deserve better for myself. I want to create a better life for my family, whatever the reasons are. But also to connect with the feelings. What do those whys make you feel? They make me feel proud. They make me feel excited. They make me feel happy. They make me feel whatever that is. Sit with those feelings for 30 minutes a day. I personally believe you owe it to your business, but I actually think on a greater level, it will help you like you wouldn't believe. Now, I'll admit there was a lot from that first component to growing a seven-figure business. There's obviously a lot of steps. In my upcoming course, titled Growth Secrets, I'll actually go into it in a lot more detail. But suffice it to say that the start is for you to connect back with the emotion of why you did what you did and the feelings that you get from that. Now, if you've liked this video and you've seen some value in it, I'd highly encourage you to click on the link below as it goes through to our course. It's called Growth Secrets, and we're going to really delve into this in more detail. And also the next video that I'll be releasing will be on Google Secrets, because from my perspective, the very, very first thing you want to do is you want to get clarity and perspective. And as a business owner, that's very, very hard to do. Once you've done that, we're going to delve into increasing efficiency, which we'll do in the course Growth Secrets, and also I'll do it in another episode on here. But then after that, it's going to be Google Secrets and how you can actually leverage Google and create more business for yourself. And thank you very much for watching so far. If you've liked this video, hit the like and subscribe, and don't forget to smash the notifications, and have a great day.